All right, we are going to start today by talking about adding and subtracting polynomials. And polynomial is just a big fancy word. All it means is I have a whole bunch of terms together. So a term is either a number by itself, a variable by itself, or the product of a number and or variable. So a number by itself as in 2, a variable by itself as in x, or the product meaning 2x together. A polynomial is a single term. So polynomial just means I'm putting all these terms together by adding or subtracting them. And so these here are what we would call polynomials. There's different types. There's a monomial, meaning I just have one term by itself. A binomial means I have two terms, and sometimes you're going to see those in parentheses. Trinomial is 3 different terms. And a polynomial for when you have more than 3 terms. So each term is separated by a plus or a minus sign, and that plus or minus sign goes with the number behind it. So I have a negative x squared, a negative 3x, a positive 9. Here I have a 9x the fourth, negative x cubed, negative 3x squared, positive 7x, and negative 2. So if I were to separate these terms out, those would be the 5 terms I would have. And basically, adding and subtracting polynomials just means I take like terms that have the same variable raised the same power, and put them together. So like terms, I could say 2x plus 7x, and that would give me 9x. I could say 5x minus x, and that would be 4x. Those are like terms. If I say 2x squared plus 2x, those are not like terms because they have different exponents. So that would be your answer. And that's all we're doing. We're just combining like terms, which is something that you've spent time on doing before. So number 1, this whole front we're adding. And if I have a set of parentheses, I can remove the parentheses if there is no number out in front. So out in front here is just an invisible 1. So that means I can just rewrite this 3x squared minus 3x minus 5. And then I have another set, 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. And out in front is an invisible 1. And since an invisible 1 doesn't change anything, I can also just rewrite this. However, I'm going to have you line it up. So I'm going to move it underneath, and I'm going to line up my like terms. So 2x squared, positive 5x, and positive 3. And all we're going to do is add them straight down. So here, 2x squared and 3x squared makes 5x squared. And then I have a negative x and a positive 5x, which gives me positive 2x. And then the last part is negative 5 and positive 3, which gives me negative 2. And then this is my answer. I just simplify the expression. On number 2, the like terms are already lined up for me, so I just add straight down. I get 11x squared, negative 13x, and negative 1. So just add straight down. Okay. All right, number 3. Again, these parentheses out in the front don't mean anything because there's no number in front. So I'm just going to rewrite this. I'm going to come over here and put 14x squared minus 9x. Don't squish it all together. Leave space in between. Plus, and then there's nothing again in front, so I can remove these parentheses, and I'm going to line them up underneath. So I have a 7x squared, a negative x, and there's really a 1 there. I'm going to write that in, plus 2. And I'm just going to add straight down. So now I have 21x squared, negative 10x, plus 2. All right, last one. Again, nothing out in front. I'm just going to rewrite this. 10x to the third power minus 4x squared plus 22x minus 23. And then we're going to say plus all of this stuff here. And again, there's nothing in front. So I'm just going to rewrite this underneath. The x squared goes with the x cubed goes with the x cubed. So 4x cubed, 3x squared, positive 3x squared, and then I have a plus 15. Now that 15 is just a constant, so it has to go under the 23. And we're going to add straight down. We get 14. I'm just adding the coefficients. X cubed minus 1x squared plus 22x minus 8. Okay. And that's what adding looks like. Okay, turn over. This time we're subtracting polynomials. And so again, I'm going to rewrite things. Here I have 5x squared minus 4x minus 8. There's nothing out in front, so I'm going to just write that again over here. And this time I have a minus sign. And a minus sign really means that there's a negative 1, and I have to multiply that negative 1 to all of the numbers in the parentheses. So this becomes negative 6x squared. Negative times a negative is a positive 9x. Negative times a positive is a negative. And then I'm going to bring it over here and line up my like terms. So negative 6x squared, positive 9x, negative 7. So again, we're just adding straight down. Here, 5 and negative 6 is negative 1. X squared. Negative 4 and positive 9 is a positive 5x. And negative 8 and negative 7 is negative 15. Number 2. I'm going to rewrite the first part here. So I have 4x squared minus 3x plus 2. And then this negative means I have a negative 1, and I multiply it, I distribute it to everything inside the parentheses, which gives me negative 4x squared, negative 3x, and negative 6. And now I want to put them underneath here and line up my like terms. So I have negative 4x squared, negative 3x, and negative 6. Okay, once we line them up, now we are adding. So I have 4 plus negative 4 cancels out. It's 0. Negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6. Keep the x. Positive 2 and negative 6 is negative 4. Number 3, same thing, just not as big of a problem. I rewrite my first part because there's nothing in front. So 17x minus 6. This second set, though, has a negative 1 that gets distributed to everything inside. So this is negative 5x, positive 10. And now I'm going to line it up. Negative 5x plus 10. Add straight down. 17 and negative 5 gives me 12x. Negative 6 and positive 10 is positive 4. Number 4. Rewrite the first part because there's nothing out in front. 3x squared minus 3x minus 5 Take this -1 and distribute it to everything. I have -2x squared, -5x, and -3. And I'm going to line them up. Like terms stay together. Add straight down. 3 and -2 make a +1x squared. -3 and -5 make -8x, and -5 and -3 make a -8. All right, we're actually going to skip number 5 and go ahead and answer the summary question. What does a minus sign in front of a set of parentheses mean?